everyone to the PR Weekly Radio Show. Today I have with me Paula Dean, who has been hiding behind closed doors now for almost 6 years after admitting to having used racial slurs on multiple occasions, along with her public relations team. I have prepared questions about the theory of image repair and how us PR pros can use it when dealing with crises. It is important to be well informed about this theory because it can be used to restore one's image in an event, and its purpose is to protect an individual or company's reputation. I will be asking Paula about the history and explanation of the theory, how the theory can be applied, and finally, Paula has some other examples of PR scandals and how they dealt with it. And now, welcome Paula Dean.
Paula, come on. You're gonna be late for your interview.
Oh, bless my heart.
Paula, would you like to come forward and properly apologize once and for all? Paula, do you have any opening statements?
Hey y'all, I'm Paula Dean. I know I've been gone for a long time, for the past 6 years, but I just want to let you know that I am back and I'm here to make everything all right with y'all. If I had known then what I know now about the theory of image repair, I know I would have never gotten myself in this situation to begin with. Today, as she said, I have my PR team with me, and we are all here to tell y'all more about the theory of image repair and why it's so important to know about.
Welcome, Paula. I'm very happy to have you on my show. Could you please tell us a little bit of background about what you've learned about image repair theory regarding history and development?
Well, I actually have my historian right here, Haley, who can tell you everything there is to know about the history of image repair.
Well, thank you, Anna, for having me. So to begin, image repair theory was developed by William Benoit. Benoit worked as a professor of communication studies at the University of Alabama. Furthermore, faculty member at the University of Missouri for 24 years, editor of the Journal of Communication and Communication Studies from 2007 to 2009. In an article written in the Journal of Public Relations Research by Sheldon and Salitz in 2009, drawing from research in sociology and psychology, Benoit's 20 years of analyzing image repair culminated with his typology of 5 strategies and supporting tactics. These are denial, involving simple denial or shifting blame, evasion of responsibility, such as provocation, defeasibility, accident, and good intention, reducing offensiveness of the event, including bolstering, minimization, differentiation, transcendence, attacking the accuser, and compensation, and lastly, corrective action to solve the problem or prevent reoccurrence, and mortification, outright apology.
Now, before we go any further, do scholars still use this theory today?
Scholars do in fact still use this theory today. A 2009 article published in the Journal of Public Relations Research by Holthausen and Roberts states, this theory came about to help repair people's reputation once perceived as negative. Since Benoit's 1995 formulation of image repair theory, most image repair strategies have been studied in the context of an organization's reaction to a crisis.
Great response, Haley. Thank you so much for coming on my show. Now, Paula, do you have anyone else on your PR team that could give us an explanation about how the theory works and how it's useful within this situation?
Why, yes I do, and her name is my sweetheart, Brooke Mincy. She's here, she's going to tell you about it.
Hi, Anna. I'm so happy to be on your show. To give you a little explanation about what image repair theory is, image repair has become an important part of conflict management. An organization's reputation is normally damaged or threatened when it is accountable for an undesirable event. In a public relations review journal by Ardent, LaFelice, and Limperosis in 2017, this theory works to emphasize and develop a more audience-oriented point of view to ameliorate the constraints of the theory's apparent focus on what seems to be a discrete source. There are some basic assumptions about this theory, such as we are more likely to be persuaded by those with high credibility and less likely to be persuaded by those with low credibility. In an article in the National Communication Association by Benoit and McHale in 1999, there are some limitations that come along with this theory because an image is based on beliefs and values, as well as current statements and deeds. It is vital to understand that there are multiple audiences with different interests.
Thanks so much, Brooke. Paula's right. You are a sweetheart. Okay, Paula. Now, do you know how peer practitioners and scholars use this theory in everyday life?
Well, you see, Anna, I have a person for every single one of your questions, and today I have little Miss Bree Scarduzio to answer that question.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Practitioners and scholars apply these theories by categorizing actions of companies and peoples who find themselves in scandals. So in doing this, it's easier to study which pieces are most effective in repairing an image for any given audience. In fact, there are a few elements that are proven more effective than others. After using this theory, scholars have found the ways in which each of the strategies can be used and applied depending on the crisis at hand. In a study done by D.P. Ferguson, J. Wallace, and W. Chandler in 2018, and another study done by K. Chung and Ji Huang in 2018 as well, image repair effectiveness was looked at in regards to the way that audiences felt after having used certain strategies. The most highly ranked strategy in both studies was mortification. In Ferguson, Wallace, and Chandler's study, corrective action and compensation were proven to be extremely effective. Mortification is when the person in the crisis confesses their mistakes and begs for forgiveness from the affected audience. Corrective action is the strategy that entails promising to fix the problem, and in doing this, a foundation to trust the company or person is built back up. And lastly, compensation is when a group is compensated for the problem that occurred.
Hi guys, sorry. I guess Bree had to randomly take Paula to apologize to Matt Lauer once again, and for an emergency spray tan after she saw her last video. Anyway, she left out some examples about image repair theory and how it was used correctly or incorrectly. One example that Paula wanted to bring up was her situation. She said, first of all, my hair and my makeup were absolutely atrocious. Second, it took 3 videos for me to completely gather my thoughts, and I still came up short. Now, people were definitely hurt and betrayed. Jacqueline Bursella even went as far to call this crisis a moral panic back in 2016 for Communication Quarterly. Quite frankly, I agree as well. What she did was terrible. PR professionals can definitely use her situation in image repair as an attempt to understand all of the audiences who have been affected by any given crisis, as Benoit wrote in 2000 for Communication Quarterly. A better example that I found was with talk show host David Letterman. In one of his nightly monologues, he made a controversial joke about Sarah Palin and her daughter back in 2009. According to an article in the Journal of Public Relations Review written by Josh Compton and Brett Miller in 2011, David Letterman made 2 major attempts at image repair after telling that controversial joke. Letterman's first strategy of denial largely failed due to his use of humor. Letterman's second strategy, which included mortification and corrective action, was way more successful. This example correlates to Selnow, Umar, and Seidner's 2009 article in the Communication Quarterly, in which they state that corrective action can actually enhance other strategies like the one Letterman used, mortification. Because Letterman states that he would, quote, do better in the future, he is enhancing the credibility of his apology. What PR pros can learn from Letterman is threefold. 1, that mortification and corrective action should always be the first step when confronting a scandal. 2, that corrective action can enhance your credibility within an apology. And 3, humor can both help and complicate image repair in public relations strategies. And now back to my concluding remarks with Paula.
I want to thank Paula Dean and her PR team for coming in today and going over the history of image repair, an explanation of it, the application, and examples on how to use it as a PR professional. Well, that's all the time that we have. Is there anything you would like to leave the audience with, Paula?
Well, I would just like to thank you so much, Anna, for having us all on your show. And I will say this, I will never use a substitute for butter.